Over 117 people move to Charlotte every single day. Some absolutely love it, and others just don't know what they're getting into. So today we're going to be breaking down the top pros and cons of living in Charlotte, North Carolina in 2025. So let's jump right into it. So our first pro is that we have a booming job market here in Charlotte. We have a large financial hub. We have a lot of people hiring through healthcare and tech companies. A lot of businesses are moving over to Charlotte. So we have places like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, we have Truist and Red Venture and Atrium Health. I mean, like we have a lot of companies that hire all the time. They're always looking for new people. So we have such a big booming job market. Now moving on to our first con is the traffic. The traffic on I-77 and I-485 in rush hour is absolutely horrible. I mean, you don't even want to get out on the roads. I mean, if you're working in Uptown or something like that, like in one of these financial hubs, then you are going to be stuck in traffic, unfortunately, on your way home. So whenever you do move here, maybe think about how far your commute to work might be and what side of Charlotte you're living on, because that can be a big factor whenever you're driving home every day. You're going to be just like, what's going on here? So I'm in traffic 24/7, it feels like, but it's usually only during rush hour. I don't see it, depending on the area that you live in, it's really not that bad. Especially it really matters where you're coming from. So if you're coming from somewhere like New York or Miami, you're gonna feel like Charlotte's a breeze. Like I'm not even worried about it. But if you're coming from like a small town like I came from, then you're gonna be thinking like, okay, this is a little bit more traffic than I definitely grew up with, but it's not really that terrible. I just say try to avoid rush hour when you can. Our second pro is the diversity and the melting pot that Charlotte is. It's got so many different cultures and different neighborhoods that are just have a different vibe. If you're looking at Noda, for example, or Plaza Midwood, you got more of that artsy lifestyle that's kind of more walkable. You can take the light rail into Uptown if you got to travel for work. Or if you are living in like a place like South Park or down in Ballantyne, you got a little bit more luxury feel to it. Definitely lots of conveniences close by. So there's a lot of benefits to living there. And then if you want to save some money on taxes or something like that, we're right on the border of South Carolina. So you could live in places like Indian Land or Fort Mill, and you can take advantage of some of the tax benefits and not have to pay the city taxes that we have to pay in Mecklenburg County. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to live where the hustle and bustle is, right in Uptown or in Plaza Midwood or something right there near South End? Or would you prefer to be a little bit more on the suburban side, like maybe in Ballantyne or up in Huntersville, even further out, maybe toward Concord or something like that? But there's a lot of diversity and a lot of different neighborhoods that kind of have a feel for just about anyone that would fit your lifestyles. Now for the second con that I mentioned in the beginning of the video is the construction and how many people are actually moving here. There's a lot of new construction happening all over the place, and it feels like some of these areas are unfinished and like it's still undergoing construction all the time. That's just because we have a lot of people moving here and there's just a lot of growth happening, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, when a city is growing, I mean, it's going to have construction noise for a little bit, but you can find the right place, and there's some areas that are more established than others that you can look in, and it's just that construction piece of it. I had to put that in the cons list. For my third pro, I'm going to have to say that it's all the green space that you're going to feel. A lot of my clients that move here, they always tell me how green Charlotte is, and just North Carolina in general, and how close you are to a lot of attractions. So we have a lot of the big sports teams in Charlotte. We have the Charlotte Hornets, the Carolina Panthers, Charlotte FC, like we have a baseball team like the Charlotte Knights. Like there's a lot going on for sports. And we have just crazy amount of greenways to walk down, or like a lot of trails and parks you can go to. There's just a lot of areas that you can travel to that might even just be a little bit outside of Charlotte if you wanted to take a day trip to Asheville, or even go to some of the beaches. So we're like 2 or 3 hours away from each one if you wanted to go to the mountains or the beach. So that's a really nice luxury to have for being here. So another one of the downsides of being in Charlotte is that we have very hot and humid summers. It can be miserable some days, and some days you get a slight breeze and it feels really good. And other times of years, like the spring, for example, like your car is going to be covered with pollen. You can literally take your fingers and just wipe across your car, and just about anything that you touch is going to have pollen on it. You are going to get all 4 seasons. So you get your winter. It's going to be cold in the winter. You're going to have a nice fall, a nice spring, weather-wise. And sometimes, like I was saying, like the summer is just going to be absolutely miserable. But I mean, at least we get all 4 seasons, right? So, I mean, there's something to look forward to in that. But I had to throw that one back on the cons list again. Just for how crazy hot and cold it can get in the wintertime. Now, one of the things I really like is the affordability of Charlotte being a major city compared to a lot of other cities like New York or Miami, like I mentioned earlier, or like some of the other big cities out there. Like Charlotte is actually got some affordable housing, and some of the pricing for going out to go do some things can be affordable. Sadly, Charlotte has very limited public transportation. The light rail only covers part of the city. They have some public bus transits that go around as well, but they really just don't have that much public transportation. We're very car dependent. A lot of people drive to where they need to go, if that's the grocery store, or if they want to go out to eat or do something similar to that. Charlotte's just a very car dependent type place, unless you're living in somewhere like Uptown or one of the neighborhoods like right around the Uptown area. But for the most part, you're going to need a car to get around. One of my absolute favorite things about this area is that we have a transplant of so many different people. It's basically a melting pot of so many different cultures. So we have diversity and a lot of people that come in from all over the place, all over the country, other countries. And it's just that we have different cuisines, different restaurants, meet so many different walks of life. It's just insane how diverse it is. And we're in the southern part of the United States, so you're going to get that southern charm that you probably have heard about, or you may have it yourself. And it's just truly special. When you move here, you're not going to feel like the new kid on the block. Every day I run into someone that's just like, hey, I just moved here last week, or I moved here last year. So it's not out of the norm to meet new people. And it's really easy to make friends here in Charlotte. You got lots of groups, so there's lots of dog parks, or just parks in general that you can go to. If you got kids, there's a lot of places that you can go to. There's something here for everyone. One of the things most people don't really think about until they're actually looking to move here is the schools. So the school districts in Charlotte can really be a hit or miss. So we have so many different options when it comes to schools. We got a lot of top rated schools in the area. You can look in like Fort Mill or the South Charlotte, like Ballantyne, South Park area. You also need to consider like, okay, am I looking for a public school, a private school? We even have some charter schools as well. So just think about that type of thing whenever you are considering your move and the location that you might want to be in, because there are some really great school districts around the area. You just need to define what those might be, and we can always help guide you and send you some resources to guide you a little bit further. Charlotte's not perfect, but it checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. And if you want to find out if Charlotte is a great fit for you, please drop any of your questions in the comments or send me a message, and I'm happy to help however I can. And don't forget to like and subscribe this video, as we'll be dropping more videos like this in the future.